West TV, tazama ilivyo.
Good morning, dear viewer. This is the Morning Scoop. We are live on West TV. The Morning Scoop comes to you every Tuesday morning, and we do conversations around various issues. And today, I'm so glad to have Dr. back to the studio. We were with him not so long ago, and the conversations we held were very inspiring. I'm looking forward for additional inspiring conversations today as we look at on-source revenue for the county government of Kakamega. Without much ado, on behalf of the director of the show, Kevin Kibet, my name is CKS. Dr. Karibu.
Asante sana.
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Yes. I thought I harassed you last time, you will not come. Okay. You're good?
Okay.
You ruling Kakamega well?
Very well.
Okay. So the conversations they have today is around on-source revenue. But before we do that, I would like you to do a proper introduction of yourself. Yeah.
My name is Dr. Lawrence Umhaka, County Secretary, County Government of Kakamega, and also Head of Public Service at the county.
We usually begin with a proverb, and today's proverb is, you can't make an omelette without breaking a few eggs. Yeah. Can you elaborate for us that proverb?
It means for everything that you do, yeah, you must be able to, ready to lose something.
Okay.
In order for you to achieve. If you have to go to Nairobi, you have to spend money, fuel the car, so that you're able to reach Nairobi.
You achieve the Nairobi trip.
Yes.
Okay. That's interesting. But then you also have to look at the way nature is. You can't do something without stepping on another.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, it's like for instance, if you say you have to collect revenue, people will not be very happy. Okay. But again, they want roads, they want water, they want medicine in hospital. So they'll not be happy, but they want it.
Okay. We are happy with fruits, but not the process to get the fruit.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's start like this. On-source revenue, Kakamega County. Just give us just a brief introduction. On-source revenue and why it's important to the residents of Kakamega. Yeah.
First of all, government does not do business. Government is not involved in the business. What government does is service, to provide service. So now that they don't do business, then where do they get the money from? So number one, they'll come up with something called a finance bill. The finance bill will be discussed. It will be an act. This finance bill has to be taken through various steps, which includes public participation, approval by the board, approval by the county assembly, and then that document allows a government now to collect revenue from its people. That revenue that is collecting from its people is what we call on-source revenue.
Okay.
But on the other hand, the governments also get money from grants from international organizations, sometimes statutory organizations. They can also give you some grants. Then it also gets money from the national treasury. So those are the three main sources of revenue: from the national treasury, through CARA, from grants, and if approved, loans. But now the money that we collect from people, that's called on-source revenue.
On-source revenue.
Yes.
I'll be more interested with on-source revenue because I was looking at some document and Kakamega ranked 7th. It ranked 7th in the collection of of revenue. Which that's the last financial year. That's 2023-2024. I'll be looking at that vis-a-vis the CRA. They projected that Kakamega should be able to collect 5.9 billion on source revenue, and then you guys ended up collecting just above 1.1 billion. Of course, you are seventh, but you didn't get to the potential. Secondly, your own targets of 2.2 million, you did attain. You're not able to attain that. So I would like to understand just a bit from your own, through your interpretation. Why is what is not happening? As in, why are we not getting closer to, number one, our targets, and number two, the potential to collect the taxes?
Yeah, maybe starting on a positive note, at least if your child comes home out of a class of 47 and he is number 7, he'll say he has tried. At least he's in the top 10. so though we are 10, but we are not very happy. Yeah, we are beaten by counties like Nairobi, who are getting close to 12 million from land rates, 12 billion from land rates. We are beaten by Mombasa. There's a city also. Yeah. We are beaten by Kiambu. Imagine Kiambu has a Kiambu town, has Thika town, has a Ruiru town, has a part of Githurai, has Kikuyu town. So it's not easy.
It has a lot of towns.
Towns, yeah. We are beaten by Kisumu. Those are the band and Western Geshu. Those are big towns. But we did collect 1.1. We collected 1.31.
1.31, yes.
1.31, which we were not very happy with also. This year we are doing much better.
Okay.
Because by end of April, we are already at 1.55. We are still below what we are supposed to get. We thought we would get the at least 2 billion mark, but this strike by doctors affected us a bit. They were away for 40 days. That means no revenue is coming from the health sector, and that's the leading. You find that most of the counties that are doing well, they get a lot from
healthcare.
Healthcare. Like Muranga gets about 700 million from health alone. We have been a bit low. We are getting 540, but this time we have improved. So we are hoping that we may get there, or if we miss, we may just miss by small fraction.
Okay.
But the main thing, why we performed, we did perform very well, though we are saying that we are among the top 10, was because of political interference. There is the gentlemen who want to be governors in 2027. Yeah, they are really giving us problems. I don't know how they'll work, because they are saying people should not collect money. Yeah, Senator Halwade says people should not collect in some areas, markets. If you go to the MP for Kuisero who also want to be a governor, he's saying, telling people to Kuisero not to collect money. So I'm
slightly interested to know a little more. Why would you tell people not to pay taxes?
Yes.
From the sources that finance the operations of the county government?
You know, they want to appear populist. They want to be populist, to appear popular. And you know, if you tell people don't collect tax, nobody wants to pay tax. Nobody wants to pay tax. So when you tell them don't pay, people will see you as a hero. But when you take over as a governor, what will happen then? If people will not be collecting, how will you run the government?
We experienced in Bungoma, the previous governor told people that market collections will be zero rated, and borders will be zero rated.
Yes.
And three months into his administration, he doubled the rates from the same projected zero rated sectors. It caused a little bit of problems, but then we learned from that that there are sources which counties get revenue from.
Yes.
You just talked about healthcare.
Healthcare.
And then markets.
Yes.
Okay. And then we have businesses.
Yes.
But then when you look at markets and their contribution, what's their percentage? It will be just little, because
actually it's little,
very little.
To other areas there.
Yeah, because I want to imagine that the bulk of the revenue source is businesses.
It's businesses.
Yes.
Yeah. But you see, you must widen your tax base. If you know, like the country, Kenya, why we are having a problem, that only about 2.3 million people are in formal employment. Now, these 2.2 million people, whatever that we get from their salary is not enough. It cannot be able to run the county properly. That's why now they've gone into taxing nearly. That's why people are crying that they are overtaxed, because they are few. But if the people giving taxes are many, mama mboga atoe yake, then the man with the big business, big hotel, to give his, the border, because he also requires a road to run on, to ride on, and when he gets an accident or when his child is sick, he has also to go to hospital and he needs to get medicine there. So he has to pay. You can't tell them that they are not going to pay. The mama mboga also, when she's coming from home, she'll get on a motorbike or a car. So let her contribute in a small way. Let each and every person at least contribute something.
You see, I want to be careful not to go outside the conversation.
Yes.
Because if we were to look at what this man is doing or not doing, that's a whole different conversation.
Yes.
Because there are enough questions as to why specific services are not available to Kakamega people presently. Okay? Now, while that is the point, we'll not go there.
Yes.
Let's just look at the revenue streams. I would like you to give us, in terms of percentages, how much do we have from a bit of these sectors? Healthcare, how much is it? When we do transport sector, how much are we getting from there? When we do the markets, the way you talked about,
the business permits,
then business permits. What other sectors do we have?
Land rates.
Land rates. Yes. Can you give us a breakdown of percentages in terms of this 1.5 you've collected this year? How have they been performing in terms of percentages?
Yeah, in terms of percentages, health sector is now high. Close to, we were close to 900.
It's like it's the leading.
It's the leading.
Okay.
Because the drugs must be in hospital. That's the first thing. And then people must pay SHA. And then now when the drugs are there, people will not really go to private hospital. They'll come here. But if you don't have drugs, if the machines are not working, they'll not come. So health is bleeding. Okay. Followed by land rates. Land rates, you know, all these guys who have shops in the municipalities, in urban areas, in townships. Yes. Yeah, there's money that they're giving. That's number two. And then you'll come to transport. Yeah, transport is also because the matatu guys, and we've discussed with them, they pay per month. Okay. We don't want this idea of people, and they pay directly through the system. Okay. To the office.
So they are not stopped at the entrance of the bus park.
Those who are stopping them are just checking, because they realize the ones who are stopping them were just being given money and they put in their pocket. Okay. That's so when you see them there, they don't pick money. They just check whether you have paid for the whole mass. And I find it is also better for matatu people, because they actually now paying through the SACCOs. So a SACCO will come and say, we have 20 vehicles, or 100. Each one of them is 1,000. Yeah. So 100 times, so this is my 100,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
That way you will take care of the erosion that will come from okay, sideways. Now,
the single business permit and so forth. Yeah, single business permit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so among the top 5.
How are we performing in that area, single business permits? Because I interacted with a few guys.
Yes.
Who some didn't express satisfaction, saying that the rates are abnormally high. On average, how much is a single business permit?
It varies from business to business, the size of the business.
Yes.
Yeah, if you have a supermarket, it will be different. If you have a kiosk, it will be different. If you have a hotel of this capacity, number of beds, yeah, it's different. So when you find somebody is if you have a hotel, about 5-bed capacity, we have your beer, your food, and 5-bed capacity. You'll pay about 20,000 for the whole year, which means per month you are paying about 1,500, which is equivalent to how much? 50 bob per day.
Okay.
So I don't think it's very high.
Well, I'm looking at those traders who they have to pay rent, power, and then the permit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And they could go for 3 days without making a sale. And when you talk about I must pay this by this time,
yes,
it becomes a struggle, because the times I'm supposed to be paying is also the other demands. There is agriculture, there is back to school things. So it tends to be coming at that area, at that stage in time of businesses, and they tend to struggle. I don't know whether you guys have had that conversation, and what will be the way forward. And like some of them will be proposing that you should be able to give them quarterly opportunities to pay this quarterly, whereby the 20,000 one you can actually pay 5,000 shillings, and that quarter will be covered without struggling to raise 20,000 at the time he has other obligations.
Yeah, we've we give them time.
Okay.
Like we invoice them in December. They're given an invoice in December.
Yes.
January, February, March, nobody comes up to 30th March.
Yes.
So you're given 3 months grace period
to find this 20,000 shillings.
To find this 20,000, and that is for a big hotel. But for small places, kiosks, and so forth, it is some are 3,000, some are 5,000.
Yes.
So if you're paying 3,000 for the whole entire year,
you have no.
It is 3,000 divided by 12 months, which is it's like we're paying some 20 bob or 10 bob per day.
Okay. You see, when you are paying per day, you won't feel it. But you will feel it to pay 3,000, just like.
But now, if you start doing everything per day, it means you have to hire more staff. And then now it will be more expensive again. The money you'll collect from these people, you'll spend it again on just paying salaries. But you want this money to help do roads, to ensure that people have water. You see that marketplace where they are selling mboga from, must be cleaned. The toilet must be there. We must be able to flush those toilets. The cleaners must be there. Some want to sell up tonight. We need to have a high mast lighting there, and we have to pay Kenya Power. So
interesting. You see, the report I was looking at highlighted inadequacies. It shows
one of them was I just mentioned one, political interference.
Yes.
We also didn't have a good system. The system there are a lot of loopholes, but we have now worked on it. So that was also another problem that was interfering with us.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So inflation rates are high, so people will complain. The way we are just saying that raising this money is not easy.
And you see, political interference will ride on the inadequacy, legislative inadequacy, because that was put in the report I was looking at. Because it talks about inadequate legislation as a key challenge to you guys raising on-source revenue. I want to imagine that you and the County Assembly of Kakamega are aware of the gaps that exist in legislation, because if a politician can tell a trader not to pay taxes, he must be riding on a gap. There is no one to tell him not to, as he's not under any obligation, because there is that gap. I don't know whether there is that conversation you guys have had, or what can we do to strengthen the tools to work on on-source revenue through legislation?
Yeah, legislation is key, but when they talk about legislation, the main thing they talked about was evaluation role. Evaluation role had not been done. The last time it was done was 1987 by the councillors. Now, evaluation role, you are looking at looking at all the land that we have in Kakamega County. Then you are attaching value to each, so that the ones in municipalities, the value is higher. The ones in townships, the value is second. Then the ones in market areas. So it was last done in 1987, but now we've carried out evaluation role. We now know how much it will cost. Like place like Harambe town here, it's called a township.
Yes.
The evaluation was done in 1987, so there are only 5 shops that were paying land rates
at the time.
Yeah, there were only 5 because they are the ones that were valued.
And today,
but now we have valued each and every sector, because some of them have been subdivided, so each person should pay. Some of them have been sold. The towns are also grown. So now with the valuation role, we are now able to get money.
Identify.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that was the main thing why they're saying the legislation is not there.
Let me before you continue.
Yeah.
Harambe had 5 shops.
There are many shops, but because it was done in 87 when they were only 5.
In 87 we had 5 shops. Okay. It means adjoining land was farmland.
Farmland.
Okay.
Yeah.
People's homes.
Yes.
Now, eventually these guys moved away.
They moved away
and gave way to the expansion.
They sold it to people as plots.
Yes.
Yeah. So these guys have to pay.
So at what rate should one begin paying these rates? The landowner who sold the shops?
No, the one with the title deed or the leasehold.
Okay, the guy with the leasehold with 10 acres of land started selling this.
So the people he sold to.
The people he sold to are the ones who are supposed to pay.
To pay now land rates.
So that legislation is.
A violation. Now we have done it. It's there. We are very happy with the county assembly. We engaged specialists. He carried out evaluation. He came up with a valuation roll, a very big book. All the plots in Kakamega are there. We put them in all the sub-counties. Members of the public were allowed to go and see. They looked at it. They gave their views. A team from the assembly moved around listening to them, doing 1 or 2 corrections here and there. And then now finally, it was taken to the floor of the house and it was passed. Now at least Kakamega has a valuation role, something that had not been done for close to 30 years, 28 years.
So something like
not even 40, almost 40 years.
Actually, it's almost 40. Now, when we look at on average, how much is a 50 by 100 property attracting in terms of rates?
It depends where, because it can be in a shopping center.
We are in Harambe still.
A piece of, for the land rates.
Yes.
It could be close to 15,000, about 15,000 there.
That is per year.
Per year.
Now, that is without any business in, or with the business in.
Whether you have business or not.
Okay, the rates doesn't change whether you are running business on it or not.
Or not, yeah.
Whoa, okay. I thought if I put a multi-story building, I'll attract different rates.
You know why we don't want to do that? Because if you have a multi-story, we also we are going to have multi-businesses there.
Yes.
Yeah, so those guys will also be paying. So we can't
individual
put,
businesses.
so we can't put everything on the owner of the land. We can't put everything on the owner of the land. Because that will be punitive also. If you put everything on the owner of the land.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa. Another element that was looked at was, or identified as a weak link, was technological capacity. You guys migrated. You are using a system, a software to collect revenue.
Yes.
Yes, but that while that is there, it was identified as one of the weak links for you guys to attain to your targets. Okay. Why? What is happening on that front?
Yeah, we realized that this system was a bit weak. It was put in place by the previous government, but it had allowed pilferage, and sometimes the machines that they were using, they are small gadgets. I think they call PSOs. The ones that they were using, they could just switch them off and say there's no network. Kuna network, then they don't collect. But now we've partnered with Safaricom. Safaricom has developed for us a very good system. Currently we are at the testing level piloting. They are already on the ground. We are using phones.
Okay. And
those phones we are able to track. The CCM for finance is able to see what's going on. The governor is able to see what's going on. The chief officer is able to see. The chief revenue administrator is also able to see on the phone. We are even able to track what's going on in hospitals. If the accused in hospital, we should be able to see here. Everybody has been given a daily target. Now, when it's like midday, you can call somebody and say, your target is 1,000, but you have only collected 200. What's the problem?
Are you, you sleeping? Or
so the fellow, similar to what is in Muranga. Muranga have a very good system. So we're developing something that is closer to that, if not better. So with that, we know our revenue will also grow, because mainly people are paying, but thieves are also very many. Thieves are very many. And now using the system, we are able to at least money that was going out, because it's very painful for a mama to part with her 20 shillings. She has come to sell oranges, 20 shillings. Then this fellow again is just putting the 20 in the pocket and picking from 200 mamas, so that the fellow has 4,000, and the county is not getting anything. And if the county is not getting anything, then how shall we get money to maintain the toilet, pay the guys who are cleaning the place, put water there, pay Kenya Power for the HIMARS or the lighting, fencing the market. So with the system, things will be okay.
Interesting. But you see, it means you guys didn't take time to develop the human capacity, because that was also identified as a weak element. Because you see, government jobs are given politically, not on merit. You see, you are a nice guy, you smile. How many guys can you bring? 15. You bring 15 guys because they are our Mzee. So Mzee's people are supposed to be working. So that kind of weak element, you didn't prepare the workforce to take care of the resources, right? Or what happened?
It's not as easy as that. To Mzee and you put the CC members, the chief officers, those are interviewed, and the governors are the advisors to pick. Those are especially the CC members, those are state officers. But for the normal staff, you can't just pick. You have to be. If you just pick, you'll find yourself at the ESCC.
Okay.
Because ESCC come there. There's audit that goes on every year. They look at where is the first of all, was there a request from a department that they want people of this caliber? Then they say yes, there was a request. So show us the request. Then you give the request.
So people are there.
Was it budgeted for? Yes, it was budgeted for. And we know what the department will give with the qualifications. And for us, we even take it to cabinet so that the cabinet can approve. And it's brought by the CEC in charge of public service, the one in charge of staff.
Yes.
The one who has a budget for paying people. So he is asked in cabinet, do you have money? And if he has money, it has been confirmed by the CEC for finance. And then now the CC for public service, the chief of public service, will now write to the county public service board that we want 6 people, and these 6 people, these 2 should have these qualifications, this should have this qualification, this one should have these qualifications. Then the board interviews independently, and after they have gotten the people, then now they bring the list of the people that have been successful.
Okay.
Of course, having those qualifications. And when ESCC come or when the auditors come, they want to see all those, the paperwork.
The trail has
the trail up to the end.
But
then whether you are also paying them the money that is equivalent to their qualifications or what was asked for.
You see, the issue is this. You have the personnel, but they are not well equipped to handle the cash flow.
Yeah, the problem we have is when county governments took over, it's almost everywhere. They just pushed, because the former local authority, they were not very keen with the kind of people. The councillors by then were just bringing their sons and so forth there.
Yes.
So when most counties took over, they sent nearly all the former local authority staff to. We are not saying that the former local authority people have not read. We have studied. We have graduated people with masters from local authority, but most of them, a good number of them, so they were just taken to collecting revenue. And Governor Oparanya even tried he dismissed when he took over in 2015 because of that pilferage. He dismissed 20 of them, 200 of them, but they went to court and came back.
Yeah, they were taxing chicken, and you see lawyers and chicken.
So they were brought back by court. So, but currently we have they have been trained. We have enough staff. We are training them also about how to use these machines and so forth. Yeah.
But the element of compliance on the side of the public, because you have the right personnel, you have the right technology, you have streams or areas to tax, okay? But then compliance, how is compliance like?
Yeah, people are complying, people are paying, but in some areas, like we have had problems in Huisero, like I told you, because they were told not to pay. We have had problems in Matunda. Yeah, they're saying we don't want to pay. We should pay. This is a municipality, but you see, municipality was given to Butere. The guys are paying the new rates, municipality rates. Malava are paying, but Matunda are giving us problems. But they give us problems, but they want toilets again. They want the markets to be fenced. But in terms of compliance, in most areas people are complying. We have people who are properly trained. They know what to do. But a good number of them are very good actually. They are doing the right job. But some of them are also thieves. And those are the ones, when we discover, they are arrested. Like the 2 who are found in Mumias hospital.
Yes.
And they were arrested by ESCC because they wanted a bribe from a service provider. Somebody has supplied material. They're insisting you must give them. They must give you money. You have already supplied goods, equipment. Then you're telling them, for us to process your money, you must give us 400,000. Then the man tricked them. He told them, come and pick your money from the bank. So they went to the bank to collect money.
Yeah. Then, only to be collected.
Only to be collected. They were taken to ESCC in Bungoma.
Yeah.
And that's by law, HR manual. We have also suspended them.
You see,
so we are not saying that all of them are good. We're saying that some are very genuine. You know, it's bad to just say, what anyways? No. But we are saying some are very good. They are doing their work.
Yes.
But others, few, are there who are still stealing money. We've even told them, if the system is down, don't collect. Let the mama sell whatever is selling and go home with the money if the system is down. But some of them still want to collect cash. So we've told them no. We're going to allow that. Yeah.
Now, when there is compliance on the side of the taxpayer,
yes,
and I've worked in markets, and interestingly, we're using Arambe a lot. You know, I ran there. I went to Arambe, and I observed the way they are working. Of course, I didn't see any officer collecting revenue. I assumed maybe it was not the time to collect because they may have come in the morning or later in the day or in the evening. But I looked at the way they are doing their trade. They're collecting a bit of the money, not much, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. They're collecting that money. The traders are collecting the money. So asking this trader to give 50 shillings on that particular day, I think they have goodwill because this is where they're earning from.
Yeah,
so compliance, that those who want to pay, or maybe they are paying, but it's the staff who are collecting that are displaying or reporting non-compliance, but then these guys have already paid.
Actually, our traders are very good, and they are really paying money and paying on time, and they know that it's the obligation to pay so that they are able to get services. They want to support the government. We really want to thank them for that. But these few rotten eggs that are stealing money from the traders are the ones we are dealing with. There's one in Harambe some 2 years ago, was just picking this lady who said the fishmongers. You're just picking fish every day. They come there. So if you give him fish,
that's
what 500?
That's it.
He goes to the one selling chicken, picks one. So the man goes home with a lot of food. The one selling bananas, he picks two. So we stuck to the fellow. We laid a trap. Yeah, and he was arrested. Even at our health facility in Kakamega, we also laid a trap. They're telling people, Shah is going to pay for you 50,000, but if you give something, kidogo, even something that Shah has cleared, yeah. But we are on their heels, as much as they are running, but we are on their heels, and we are getting a number of them and dismissing them, of course, following the law, because it's very painful. Somebody is sick. Yes, come to hospital, and you are stealing from the same mama who has come to the hospital. It is very bad. So the governors has told them in certain terms that anybody found stealing revenue that is meant to help the county, help the county give services to the people, will be dealt with accordingly.
Wow, that's interesting. You see, economic factors and economic factors in the county today. When we look at the county government of the county of Kakamega, not the government, but the county of Kakamega, economic factors, the indicators are different. Rural setting has its own challenges. Urban setting has its own challenges.
Yes.
Okay. Those challenges sometimes may contribute or go against your projections to raise revenue from those. It means if we have enough buyers of a specific product or service, then there is enough revenue for the trader to actually gladly pay. But then some of these traders have already paid. But then going by last year's experience, they didn't perform so well. So this year they are going slow on that. So economic factors could be an issue, according to my thinking. Urban setting is different because you are quick to change. If this investment is not giving me a return, I'll change to this. In such a scenario, what will be your role as a government to support this sector to remain afloat so that it also supports you in terms of revenue collection?
Yeah, whatever we collect in rural areas is different from what we collect. But you see, we are also trying to build the economy of the county. We are trying to increase, like Governor Baraza is coming up as a man who wants to develop the industrial sector. That's why we have an industrial park in the northern sector. Now, you see, when you have an industry, apart from employing people who are going to pay tax to the national government, they'll also have the money to use purchasing power. Their purchasing power parity will be higher. So we bought a piece of land, 133 million, as industrial park in Likuyani. We have also set up an industrial park in Mumias. We even have already an industry. Last time I was here, I told you about the organic factory,
Yes.
which is now set to start. We were missing power, but now we have power.
Okay.
The roads are being done. We have already brought in an investor who has already established. He has already installed even the machines in Chekalini factory is there for maize milling. So the maize from Bungoma, from Kitale, from the Likuyani and Lugari will be milled there. Because you see, Western, we produce a lot of maize. Then the maize has to be taken to Thika to be processed, and then we are the ones who buy again. So we would want to sell to them maize.
Okay.
We want to sell to them fish product. Now we have so we have that industrial park. We have those industries that we are mentioning. We have also a piece of land, about 40 acres, that we bought in Miase East, a place called Munganga, set for industries. We have close to Malava. Within Malava, we also set up already. The machines are ready for producing nails, chain link wires, and so forth. We have a factory in Tumbeni. A factory. We have already identified an Arab man who is an investor. He's coming to start it before the end of this year. We are also negotiating with the Kenya Tea Development Authority. They are ready to set up a tea factory in Shinyalu. Yeah, it's called Madala Tea Factory. The piece of land we had was 4 acres, but they wanted at least 10. We have bought land over 11 acres, so they are going to set it up. We have given 4 million seedlings to farmers, so they are already growing the tea. We have a hatchery that is able to produce about 145,000 chicks per month.
This thing in Malaba?
No, now this one is in Butere.
Okay.
Yeah, chicks. So a hatchery for chicks, 1-day-old chicks. Because we have been buying from Naivasha, then we come and distribute to our farmers through a program called Kelcop. But now we are producing them here. So with that industrialization, we say we have a banana factory. With that industrialization, we are going to bring up the rural areas. Because now in Matawa, if you go there, there are people who are going to work in this factory. They'll be earning salary. And the town will grow. They want a place
so with income, they can be able to spend some money.
And they want a place where they'll stay, where they'll drink. So hotels will come up. So we are bringing up the rural areas. So that's one of the areas that Governor Baraza is really focused on. That's industrialization.
What about
next week? He'll be opening the Chekalino one.
What is happening on the informal sector, Juakali sector?
Juakali sector, they are trained. We have put them together. They have been trained. Now, last week I was opening. I was closing a function of the national government through the Ministry of Education, the TVET department. They have come up with something where it's called recognition of prior learning.
RPL, yes.
Yeah, RPL. I was closing the function Kakamega. Now with that one, as a county, want to run with it. There are people who are very skillful in the rural areas in terms of like welders, specialized in welding, furniture making, but they don't have any certification. So they can't get jobs because they didn't go to school.
Or they can't tender because
they can't even tender. Yeah, when you are tendering, you are told, can you bring your certificate? Now, what the national government is doing is that they have now training assessors. These assessors are coming from the technical institutions. Now, these assessors will come and assess you. If you have a sewing machine, they'll come and assess you. If you are supervising a construction of a building, they'll come and assess you from there. They want to see your skills. They have a form. And then you'll be given a certificate. So as county government, we want to do that. Apart from what we have been doing, we also want to do that so that most of our people are now certified and they have certificates.
So that gives them the ability.
But again, we have also realized that most of them are not doing very well because they don't have money. We have started what we call Kakamega Microfinance Agency. we've given them 200 million, Kakamega Microfinance Agency. Now, these businessmen are coming there, and even Mama Mogas, they borrow money at very minimal interest. And we are happy that a good number of them are paying. Though we have a few who are disappearing with the money, but a good number of them are paying without much security, because some of them have no security.
Yeah, only a place to sell their stuff.
Yeah, but you find there's a lady there I'm very proud of. She came there, borrowed 100,000. She has moved her business. Her business now is worth about 500,000. She has borrowed again 200,000 and paying. And it's growing. Yeah, we are also we are putting mamas together in groups.
Into chamas, yeah.
15 of them in every chama. Then we give them what we call grant of 50,000. So that they are doing table banking. Like I was in Butere and I was very happy with what was going on. They are doing table banking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, interestingly. Now, on the area of one of the revenue streams that is very annoying to me is advertising.
Advertising, yes.
A billboard, a banner, a poster. You see, some of those, actually there is no, on the sides of posters and banners, the reinforcement it's not very serious as such, but it's annoying where you're told for you to put posters you're supposed to pay this amount of money. What you guys go large on are banners, because you allow banners on roads and they're paid for.
They're paid for,
and
yes.
Then signs, road signs are also paid for, and then billboards are also paid for.
Yeah.
Now, how is that sector like? How is that stream like? Because I tend to imagine that it's there are not enough signs when you walk around Kakamega. Very few. People are not putting up signs because you guys are going to take 84,000 shillings. And
it's not just Kakamega, the whole country. When you see anything on Safaricom, Kenya Breweries or Coca-Cola, they are paid for. Like now, East Africa Breweries have put one there. They paid us for 450,000.
Yes, and they can pay. Let them pay. Even let them pay $1 billion. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at that shop of yours.
Yes.
Which you have a shop in Mumias, and Mumias market is good, but it's not right. I need a billboard in Kakamega to tell people that this service is available in Mumias.
Yeah. Then you pay for it.
Yeah, but you are going to ask for an arm and a leg, and I only have two. So how
that one is not just Kakamega, but the entire country is doing that. If you look at
you don't have customized rates.
If you come, we have in fact our rates are lower. I met the CS for Nandi, County Secretary for Nandi, and you're telling me your rates are lower, so our people are complaining. Like now, a place the border towns like Kipkaren, our rates are lower. The borders on our side are paying less. So they're saying now their borders are complaining. Why is Kakamega paying less? And the people are charging us more. If we go to Tarbo, Western Gishu, they're also saying our rates are lower. If you go to Matunda, rates are lower. So we have been very fair as a county.
Yeah, but you see, I'm trying to imagine you have customized this to uniqueness of Kakamega, right? But then, why will, for example, car branding?
Yes.
How much is it?
I don't know the exact figure, but branding you're supposed to pay.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look at
as an advert.
Yes.
And I'm saying it's not just unique to Kakamega.
It's not unique to Kakamega, but I'm trying to imagine that why can't we customize each location with its own demand? We create our own demand for Kakamega. We say that our vehicles we're going to tax this much to write on a name, so and so limited company.
Yes, that's what we do. We have that's why each and every the national government has its own finance bill. The county government has its own finance. All county government, the 47, have their own finance bill. So it's not similar across the board. It's unique to a county. So for us, we have our own finance bill, and the finance bill has to be taken to people. Like next week, tomorrow we are discussing it in the cabinet, and then we shall take MCS through it. Then they'll go to every sub-county to discuss with the people. Say, these are the rates. The other rates remain like last year, but these are the ones that have been changed. 1, 2, 3, 4. What's your view about them? The members of the public will say, yes, that's okay. That is not there. For instance, in the previous finance bill, we didn't even have the guys who have car bazaars. We're not paying anything. Guys who are selling vehicles were not paying anything. Now we have put it there. Somebody is selling as 50 vehicles, but he's not paying anything. So those are the new things that we have.
You only
but they'll be invited. They'll also be invited in the meeting, so they give their views. Say, oh, this too high, should have done this, so forth.
And then you see there is this potential from the mining.
Yeah, mining.
And then we also have, I also want you to respond to guidelines on revenue collection, especially what message or what are you telling the taxpayer of Kakamega in all these sectors? If there is mining, mining is supposed to be going on, of course, a small scale from those small miners, but then they make their cut. But then when they make their cut, at what stage do they pay? Do they pay as a circle? Do they pay as an individual? Or what is happening? Do they pay as they enter the mine? Whatever it is. So some clear guidelines on this collection of taxes. Yeah.
No, mining is actually a national government function. It is not a devolved function. But for them to operate, there's a percentage, and they are very organized. They have their own chairman. They actually in groups.
Okay.
But all of them have an umbrella body whereby chairman, we have engaged them. We have agreed. We give them also licenses to when they are processing. Although we are very happy, the governor of Kakamega has negotiated with the national government because our people are really suffering. You know, we are getting after it has been mined, the products are taken to Migori for processing, and part of South Nyanza for processing. But now we are constructing. We have it's almost ready. The deputy president was there the other day. We have now a gold refinery in Kakamega, courtesy of the national government and the county government. We gave them land, and now they've installed that. So that will be good for us because most of them were using mercury to separate soil from gold from soil. But mercury is very dangerous because it was flowing into rivers, and then fish ate, and then we eat the same. And then those are some of the things that causes cancer. So now these guys have been trained. We are going to have a oil refinery, a gold refinery in Kakamega. It will be. I saw a letter on my desk. I think 16th of this month. It will be officially opening it. Yeah. So that one we give them for operating. You know, they have set up their own small machines. So for that operating, there is a national function. But for them to operate in those groups, we have given them single business permits to able to, so that as a county we're able to contribute. But we're also pushing further. We're saying that this is a mineral in Kakamega. So though it's not a devolved function, but as a resource, Kakamega, we also want a cut as a county. You see what Turkana said? That's why we have not started drilling of oil in Turkana. We have a lot of oil there, but the locals are saying they want 50% of the oil. And national government is saying no, this one is not a devolved function, it's a national function. We are not going to give you 50%. That's why Tulo now has stopped. But we should not be importing oil. We have a lot of oil here.
So how much? What percentage are you asking for gold? 50%?
Yeah, no.
50% is good.
No. We are saying
it will clear all the burning bills.
We are in discussion with the national government. We are thinking with 30%. Okay, so that Kakamega people can also benefit from that resource. Yes.
Whoa, our time is up, but I want you to talk about one thing and one thing only. You see, there must be a message you carrying to taxpayers of Kakamega. What is it?
The message you carry to the taxpayers of Kakamega, one, we want to thank them for being very cooperative. There are few, one or two who are not cooperative, but most of them are very cooperative. So we want to thank them for that. Number two, we want to assure them that whatever they are giving will be used well. We have put measures, stringent measures in place to ensure that money is used well. So ushuru, lipa ushuru, upate huduma.
Okay.
Because this money is what will be used to put medicine in hospitals, is what will be used to make the roads, is what will be used to ensure that the amas yango. Yeah, because government does not do business. Yeah.
Next time you come,
Yes.
I think let's wait until the budgets are read and everything.
Yes.
I want you to come and talk about how this money is spent.
Yes.
Because I have a problem on how this money is spent. I especially have a very big problem why we have pending bills.
Pending bills, yeah.
Yes, and you see, pending bills because initially we are told the money has not come, and when the money comes, you don't put it to the pending bills. You buy something else, and then when the service provider who provided Amatsa Kumulyango for this year is not paid
on time,
so we outsource another Amatsa Kumulyango supplier for next year. When this one is bending, we are creating another bending bill. So there are those things that I want us to talk about.
Maybe just in a minute, I can tell you that when Governor Baraza took over, he found pending bills of people who had completed work, and they had payment certificates. They raised payment certificates worth 1.8 billion. At least we have paid 1.4 billion. So we are still struggling with it. So we still have about 400 million to pay. Now there were jobs that were going on, like now Buhungu Stadium, the hospital. There's this road from Ingothe to Malaba to Navaholo. There's the Butere Hospital. There's the Shamahubu Hospital, which is having a serious problem. There's a Tumbeni factory worth 8.2 billion. There were ongoing jobs worth 8.2 billion, and the guys who had already given. So we have 10 billion to pay. Now, when you come in and you don't do your projects, you only pay the pending bills, you'll have a problem, because people will say, this one does not do anything. They want you also, people want to see your programs because you promised them. But again, the people also worked, so you need to pay them.
Yeah, that one will be a story for another time.
It's
Because you see, there is something you told me, there is a requirement for you to employ somebody, you must first prove that there is money to pay this guy.
Yes.
And the confirmation comes from you and the finance CC.
Yes.
Once that is done,
the
then
budget.
public works will employ.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, the public service.
The public service will employ. Okay? Now, the same as the supplier, because the LSO says, the person signing the LSO, it says that I have confirmed that there is money.
Yes, in the budget.
In the budget.
But now look at it this way. This is June. The last amount of money we received was for March.
No.
So we borrowed March money to pay salaries. We borrowed salary. We borrowed April. We borrowed May.
Yes.
So 3, and our salary is close to $500 million. So we have borrowed 1.5 billion
to pay salaries.
1.5 billion to pay salaries, with interest from the bank. And then now you bring the match. We bring 1.1 billion. 100 million goes to assembly. So you borrowed 1.5 billion, but you have received 1 billion. So you get all the money, pay the bank, and you remain with nothing. That's why you've seen me driving my own car to this place. So you wait for the April money, so that now you can clear that bill and now pay a few of the people who did jobs. So the governors are struggling.
That will be the story for after the budgets are done, and we'll be looking for the next financial year.
Yes.
Otherwise, thank you so much. I want you to say hi to Sumba, my friend.
Yes.
He's the one who makes this happen, by the way.
Yes.
I talk to him every day.
Yes.
Say hi to him when you get to Kakamega. And say hi to the governor. Tell him West Media loves you.
Yes.
It's him who is trying to behave like he doesn't care about us.
No,
but we care about him.
He knows I'm here. He's even watching. He's proud of you people.
Thank you.
I don't know where the notion that he hates you came from.
No,
That's why we keep on coming here. It's my fourth time coming here on the radio and even here.
Have you ever related to that relative of yours whom you want to meet, but he keeps on sending the wife or the children?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the children have the facts.
Yes, and there.
Asante sana.
Any final one?
Yeah, final word, lipa ushuru, pata huduma.
Okay.
Na usipopata huduma, basi complain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We come to the end of the show. We have a presence on social media. We're on TikTok. We are on Instagram. We are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. This is streaming live on YouTube. Please, when you're on our social media, please leave a comment, talk to us, share your views, and encourage us as we keep on giving you the content as we are enabled. Thank you so much. On behalf of the director of the show, my name is CKS.
Even